Good to see you.
Sorry about that.
Amazing. What the machine talk for its own self, or do you have to put the voice in there?
No, it did it all by itself.
How you doing today?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm trying to do all right.
I hear you. Yeah, my name is Matt Marble.
Matt Marvel.
Yeah.
You didn't write the comic book called Jonah Hex, did you?
No. What is that?
Well, it ain't important. Just had a name. It just had a name in the book there, there's Stan Lee, Matt Marvel, and a whole lot of folks.
Oh yeah.
Comic book didn't last long.
Interesting. Yeah, well, I'm an artist and a writer, and play a little guitar as well.
Yeah.
And I recently had one of my first art exhibitions here in Greensboro, North Carolina, so I'm not too far from you.
Hey, sure ain't.
But yeah, and during that exhibition, somebody saw one of my pieces, which was a guitar that my dad had given me, but it would never keep in tune. And after he passed away, I just didn't want to get rid of it. So I decided to strip it down and sand it and paint it. And I ended up having a rattlesnake coming out of the hole of the guitar and lots of other soil and glue and all kinds of stuff. And somebody pointed me to your exhibition. And I spent that whole evening just kind of looking at your work and having my mind blown and feeling a really special connection with your work. And so once I saw that you were also kind of listed as a spiritual philosopher, and I looked into the Hanging Tree Guitars book and saw more of your kind of spiritual reflections, I was like, well, I want to talk to Freeman.
Yeah, I might have taken to talk to you, see, because you done said the magic word. You saw something. You saw something on the wood on the father's instrument that other people wouldn't have never seen.
Yeah.
Everything you saw up there was already there, but you cannot see it with this physical mind because it's close to the cars and the good-looking gals and stuff. Nobody ever, I can tell you this, nobody ever sees stuff with a spiritual eye.
No.
It's bad to be like that because you see stuff you try to show folks and they think you're foolish. Like these soundboards in these pianos, believe it or not. If people knew what they were capable of doing, there wouldn't be a piano standing. You sure wouldn't?
No. Well, I feel like your work, while most people's spiritual eye might be closed, I think your work has the possibility of opening people's spiritual eye. You know what I mean?
Yeah. People like you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I found out that by practicing the old cut with a couple of witches that were selling talismans and good luck bags and mojo sacks and stuff. I found out that actually what it is, people lose confidence in themselves. All they see is what they can put their hands on, grasp, smell, or play with and stuff. They never look at stuff with a spiritual eye.
Mm.
Took me quite a while to do it. That's why they call people witches and warlocks and stuff, because they see things different.
Yeah. Well, what kind of going back to the beginning, what was your, did you have like a religious upbringing? Were your parents in the church? Were you raised in the church, or what was that like for you?
Man, I hate to mention that. Mom had, let's see, 6 girls and me and her. She had one later on. When she got too old to have a child, she had Pete, our last brother, so I made 9. But
oh wow,
Mom would make us, when she was going to church, she come here with a fork and put some fried meat grease out there, and she said, "Come here, boys." Me and Hubba had to say, "More, you sure look good and everything." And I said, God dang, the day when I look back at it, yeah, spiritual things more she believed in this and that and everything, but she never took the time to read the Bible and take an analytical view of what it was saying. She just took the King James Version and read it that she could and everything, but she never read the Tyndale Bible. She never read the unrevised version of the Gutenberg Bible. She She never even went that far. She don't
Yeah.
know, she didn't know what Arabic, Hebrew, or Greek was.
But she read poetry too, right? Then your mom liked poetry?
Yeah, she had read and wrote. The only poetry Mom ever knew was a poem by George Kimball, Trees by George Kimball. You remember that?
Mm-hmm. I'm not familiar with that.
Well, George Kimball wrote way back that then when they had a book with about 6 pages in it when in our schools, you know, back in the 40s and 50s, and she was in there for then. The book they have about 3 pages. See Mac run, see Muff run. Mac said bow wow and Muff said meow meow, and that was the education they got. Couldn't get a high school education.
Yeah, I
But
hear
see,
you.
I tricked. When I went to the penitentiary, the captain told me, he said, "You the biggest fool I ever seen. So them boys laughing at you, reading the letters where you getting stuff and you can't read." He said, "We got a library there, so you can learn how to read." But they didn't have no books in there, but just throwaway books and comic books. And naturally, you know which book I went to reading in.
Was it
It was
Captain
a
Marvel?
comic book, Captain Marvel. That's the first 2 words I ever know what they said. So I started thinking about the alphabets in the word. You can take them alphabets in the word Captain Marvel and do wonders by changing them around. That's all
Mhm.
you do. So by and by, I learned a little bit more than I was supposed to.
And back in the church, was that a Baptist or Pentecostal, or what kind of church environment
It
were
was
you?
a Baptist, and my grandparents was primitive Baptist.
Okay.
My mother was in the church called the Free Will Baptist, which
All
wasn't
right.
nothing but a backbone show.
And I've listened to a lot of the interviews you've done, and I appreciate you for doing all these interviews. It's really been special to go through them and spend time reflecting on your life like this. And one thing you've mentioned throughout all of them is kind of the role of, or an interest in, black magic or voodoo or those kinds of traditions. And it's not really been addressed too directly. So I wanted to kind of open some space for you to talk a little bit more about that. You mentioned like Dr. Buzzard,
Right?
Marie Laveau.
Yeah. They
Monk-
also repeated for
yeah.
Howard Peterson.
And so how did you come to that? What was your first exposure to that side of things?
Well, the first exposure was some white folks come by there selling. See, back then, you know, white folks, if they said it, it was for real. But they, folks were scared of them, and I won't call. I always had a warped mind. More so, I didn't have good sense. They were selling mojo bags and talismanic stuff called, let's see what they talismans and books and stuff. But anyway,
Monkey paw.
I got caught up in it, and the couple name was the man name was David and the woman name was Yvonne. They were from Salem, Massachusetts, and I got caught up in some stuff, and they showed me a few things, and I found out that they were real serious when they started drawing circles and everything. So they let me participate one time, and this participation let me know that dimension that they referred to it really exists. But the only thing here, it's easy to get out of the physical body, but the hellish part is getting back in.
Mm-hmm.
And if you mess around, now all this happened within the circle. You really don't leave the circle. The body don't.
Yeah.
But they say you can see it. I don't know what kind of eye you see it with. It's hard to explain. But there's a thread that holds this mentality that's traveling around in little spaces to the body. But they always make reference, don't let the thread get too small, because if it breaks, you can't get back in. Your body will live the rest of your life in limbo. So after that incident, I said, no more of the dimensions they're talking about.
Well, yeah, I was curious about that because, they were the founders of the Church and School of Wicca. And so they were just passing through what,
Well,
Greene County? Or?
No, they had a cult down there at Newbern, North Carolina.
Okay.
And at this time, they weren't even known.
Yeah.
They Yvonne and David Frost. And a lot of people say that I ain't seen them, but I don't know how I seen them and know them, but I know them and saw them too. They were the one that showed me how to draw the seal or what Solomon seal. But the two characters I can't remember what they were. I know all the other characters. I know how they do the magic circle and the anointing and do all that stuff too, but I don't mess with that no more.
And you've got some kind of symbols in some of your guitar illustrations.
Yeah, it's a code. What happened was I was to an old bookstore one time and I saw this book here. Why I wanted it, I don't know. It didn't have no title. Well, nothing interesting about it, but it just said, copy of the book called the Egyptians Book of the Dead.
Mm-hmm.
I bought that book. I bought a copy of Edgar Casey and some of Madame Blavatsky stuff, which it was wrote in a language I couldn't understand. But there's some stuff. I know some codes about the Egyptian Book of the Dead and stuff and all like that right there. But right now, I can't think of what they is, but I can get into a mode and I know what they is. But actually, the Egyptians used a lot of numerology. And symbols. You take numerology, the American folks try to do it, but see, they go at it wrong. You do it, you write it down, the alphabet and numbers and stuff to decipher the code where you're gonna use. And then, but see, they read it from left to right, wrong way. You read it from left back to you read it opposite anyway.
Yeah.
But you can take that numerology stuff and you can do wonders. You can almost know stuff about people that don't even know about themselves just by knowing their name.
I'm going to share an image from the Hanging Tree book. Let me see if I can do this real quick. Oh, it says I'm disabled. But you have I can't show it, but there's one picture in the book of kind of a triangular or pyramid-like shape.
Right.
With kind of patterned numbers all over it. Well, can you tell me more about what's going on in that image?
Most of the complete number is 7, and you have to employ that number and say like 7. Okay, it's the A, B, C, D. I forgot which one it is, but anyway, you keep adding it up and subtracting, adding it up and subtracting until you will come out with a sentence or maybe a word or something. And you keep that on, and that a while you'll come out with something other. You don't know what it is. You didn't put it there, but it's there, and it's hard to explain because you can break the code real easy.
Yeah, and was the number, because there's a lot of like calculations or it looks like money. Is it? I know numerology and a lot of Southern folk traditions was used in gambling a lot of times. Was that at all a part of it?
Well, no, because material thing really don't mean nothing to me.
I hear you.
Money always been, always had good money because I've been a crook. I have worked for the mob. I ain't never hurt for no money, but I had a limit to what I would do.
Yeah.
If you stay in your place, you won't get your feelings hurt and get killed. When you step out of your place trying to be something you can't back up, that's when you get your feeling hurt and die.
Mm-hmm.
But if you could break that code, I did. I could have had won money from gambling and stuff, but like I said, material thing didn't mean nothing to me.
Yeah.
A car good enough to go where I want to go, a guitar that I could hear and stuff, and clothes that didn't smell, and that was all I needed. Now the wife, the last one I married, she wanted everything. I got it. I gave it to her. They own a car lot up there in Winston-Salem. My other daughter owned, I don't forgot what kind of show cars. They get what they want. I don't want that. Everything that come upon me, I didn't want. Had to have an eyeball took out. But if you studied the pyramids and stuff, now you had to make a comparison. You're gonna have to go back to the Egyptian codes. Our codes where we make up one word. You'll never figure it out. All right, just like say like the 6. To us, we see a 6, we say, yo, that ain't nothing but a 6 there. Yeah, to this physical body, but if you turn it upside down, it can be a 9. It can be several different things you can do with numbers. But if you could ever figure out, you talking the pyramid stuff, you will be surprised at what it'll tell you.
What did it tell you?
It was a whole lot of things that I dare not tell people. I tell you something else happened too. This will make you leave it alone. I walked down my barn building guitars one time, and all of a sudden, I don't know what I was. I don't know whether it was music. I don't know what I was. It was a sound. It wasn't that humming sound and that piercing sound. It felt so daggone good, that sound did till I have a problem listening to people play music now. I can tell when a string ain't like the other string, but I try to ignore it and enjoy what I'm listening to. And that created a problem for me.
Made your ears too good.
Well, the guy told me I had perfect pitch, but it ain't no perfect pitch. These some supernatural have happened that.
And yeah, I'm pretty fascinated by that sound experience, that tone experience you had, because I mean, I experience a lot of kind of auditory imagination in my own life and work. But I was wondering if you could give any more detail about that experience in terms of what you heard. Was it like a melody or a fragment of music, or was it more like a drone, like a?
Now, have you ever struck the little bar where they used to use to tune guitars? What they call it?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? It's shaped. What do they call that bar? Anyway, you
I forget what it's
hear
called.
that sound we go when you hold it in your hand. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it just rings.
Yeah, but do you know what the bar is?
I don't know what it's called, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I got one here. You tap it on the table and hold it, and the whole vibration and everything, the whole body.
Pitch something.
You know what it is, but anyway, you hold it, and if you strike it in long enough, the sound will take over. It ain't that sound no more, and it ain't that vibration. You part of that little instrument. If you hold it, I forget what they call it. Anyway, you used to tune the E string with it on the guitar. Tuning fork, that's it.
Oh, the tuning fork, yeah.
And that's the way the sound was. It's as if I was a part of the sound, but I didn't have the tune fork in my hand.
Yeah.
You ever experienced that?
Not quite like that, no. But
you will in the long run. That's what happened to see Robert Johnson. He was kind of a demon possessed man. That's why when he walked down the club or piccolo joint, juke joint, what you want to call it, according to what Buzz said, when he walked out, he walked down there with his guitar on the back of Stella and was never seen again. Never had a funeral. They never knew how he died or what happened to him. Music can mess you up. These people tell you they can play blues. They can't play no blues.
Oh, I had people tell me that growing up when I was a kid. I played guitar too much, you'll get taken over by it. You know?
The people that play blues, actually the ones I've seen, they're people that stowed away. They had not a decent instrument. Some of them playing with all kind of strings on and stuff. I've been down in the Delta, Black Bottoms, and all around the place and everything. I don't tell everybody that because nobody believes true. But those people couldn't even afford, had they chop and pull grass in the fields all day, they couldn't afford an instrument. Someone would take a piece of wire and put it on the wall, run it down and tighten it, and take a piece of wood to tighten it to get a tone out of it. And use a baller that slide up and down on it.
Yeah, I was born and raised in Mississippi, and I noticed when you talk about being from Greene County, you usually say it's almost as bad as Clarksdale, Mississippi.
What's see, cause
Where's-
Clarksdale, when we went through Clarksdale on the chilling circuit, well,
Okay.
little bitty place. Couldn't even buy gas there. Went out of town, I ran out of town because you couldn't see out no buses back then no more. Buses where they would sell for smoke and knocking and everything. But anyway, found some guys down there, they went and got some cans and went back to buy gas. And a year later on at a den when I went to Chicago, I found out that Muddy Water was from Clarksdale, Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
And he was that clown and folks talking he blues man this and blues man that. But Muddy Water wouldn't have never been heard tell of if it hadn't been for Jim Morrison and what old guy name is Keith Richardson.
Mm-hmm.
If it had never been for the rock musician, nobody would never know who he was. You cannot compare his music to them. Them guys are real musicians. That little slide in the ting tang, they playing, boom, 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 and you get out there and compare it with a band like the Rolling Stones and Beatles. I ain't never cared nothing about them. But you compare it with them hard hitting guys like that right there, and Jim Morrison done this song, The Crawling King Snake. He done it right. Well, not Jim Morrison, but the Doors and Jim Morrison.
Mm-hmm.
They done the song right. And the Rolling Stones, they played, well, I can't even think of what Muddy Water, one of his songs, but anyway, they took the name from him, Rolling Stone.
Yeah. Well,
But
speaking of the crawling king snake, snakes are a pretty common image in a lot of your guitars that you make.
Yeah, because the snake, if you make reference to the snake was the first image of what it is folks spoke about that deceived the first man. And the image of the snake is deception. That's what it is. It will deceive you. A whole lot of people like that. Snakes is for real. People that kill that snake there and everything. If they let the snake get away, he won't do that.
Yeah. Yeah, the snake's been kind of a big part of my art as well. But for me, it's been mainly through dreams. I've had a lot of powerful dreams involving a black rattlesnake.
A black rattlesnake?
Mm-hmm.
Dang, that's not a good sign.
Well, the way I see it,
that's a terrible sign, man.
It's what?
That's a terrible sign.
Yeah.
The color word.
It can be. I feel like it can go one of two ways, Either you get bit and you get kind of taken, you get put to sleep, or you get woken up. And
the thing about it is, in the long run, if you can figure out a way to control it in the dream.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't heard tell about one guy, and that was Howard Peterson, Dale Zora Pettiford nephew that ever made reference to a black rattlesnake.
Really?
Yeah, he was a terrible witch doctor. Died a bad death. And nobody don't believe it, but I do. Because everybody said it down in the territory he lived in.
Mm-hmm.
They said he got down on the floor at the point of death and crawled just like an animal.
Oh, wow. Just like a snake.
Man, he was into the black arts heavy.
Yeah.
He didn't deal in selling your confidence and stuff, claiming you go get rich and get this beautiful dame and these phones and stuff. Mm-hmm. He dealt with death, and he knew what to kill you with. Untraceable back then, like henbane, belladonna, and mandrake applied with other stuff. One of the deadliest poisons is, and a whole lot of stuff. You walk right over to any identity or to kill you dead as a rattlesnake. Well, kill you dead anyway if you mix it with the right stuff.
Mm-hmm. What about do dreams inform your work at all? Do you have many dreams?
Well, I ain't never dreamed about the work, but what it is, it's a state I get into.
Yeah.
I can be sitting right there because I could be sitting, contemplating working on some wood. And I look at, first I build a relationship with wood. I don't go there and just jump right on the wood, call my man, and there's a piece of wood like it ain't got no spiritual value. The first thing you do, you get there and you'll find out that it don't work at first, but after a while you look at the piece of wood and you start to seeing things that you didn't see before.
Mm-hmm.
You start feeling stuff that you didn't feel before. And if you start to cutting on it, it seems that the saw has a mind of its own to cut out the shape. And it's just something bad about that spiritual stuff of wood. Wood is not dead because it's wood.
Yeah.
As an old witch doctor told me one time, he said, a pine tree will not be an oak. An oak will not be a gum. A gum would not be a poplar. He named a whole lot of trees. I got bored with what he was saying. But he was right. You can in no way in the world transform a tree to another tree.
No.
It's going to be itself. In the same way with people. Pine grow the pine needle. Yeah, and hear what the other things is up there. But anyway, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So you kind of try to get into a dream state when you're working with the wood. Is that right?
Yeah, y'all try it sometime. You won't believe, you will not believe what'll happen to you. May not work the first time you try it. Not with just an instrument, but just to make handles or maybe a cross out of the wood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you describe it in the book too as like a premeditation state.
Right.
Yeah.
You ain't never had done that.
Oh, I have for sure.
I want to ask you something else too, man.
Yeah.
I know you have experience. Have you ever been traveling? Ain't got to be in a long way, say local, and you get to your destination, coming back, you say, I don't remember coming through here. You ever had that? I have
Yeah.
a lot of times.
For sure.
What happened to you momentarily when you passed through that place?
Yeah.
Have you ever dealt with any of those cults?
Dealt with what?
They are messing around with occult and black magic and stuff like that.
I've kind of focused more on meditation. I do a little divination practice.
Through divination.
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
But as far as like spells and stuff, I don't tend to mess with that. I try to get my mind in a heavenly state.
It's easy to do. It's super easy. It's the other stuff that's hard to do. The heavenly state, you can fool yourself real easy. But see what people don't understand here when they get in church or hooping and hollering, they don't know what they're talking about. Because when Christ left this earth here, he told the folks. He left. He said he left a excuse me. He left a comforter with him. But they'll tell you right now in the church, and in our church, the law right here with him. Not so. He up there on the right hand of the Father. He left the comforter down here. Gave you the opportunity to straighten up so when he do come back, maybe something will happen. There's gonna be very few people go though. They got the wrong attitude.
Yeah.
And he said, not only did I'm not gonna change, I'm saying it in my language. Not only they ain't gonna change the John Bryan commandments, said I'm gonna add a new one to it. Do you know what that one was? Love.
Love, there you go.
Now tell me, folks, they couldn't stand that.
Yeah.
See, I love everybody till they make me mad. A lot of people claim they
Got to.
A lot of folks claim they don't get mad, man.
Well, and talking about black magic, I mean, that's misunderstood a lot too, even though I'm not a practitioner. I mean, if you look like at the tradition of Obeah, like the kind of African traditions of Obeah in the West Indies,
Yeah.
it's like that was kind of turned into like an evil practice by the British when they were trying to oppress the people there, and that's where kind of black magic gets these negative aspects, like it's only for evil and that kind of thing. When in reality, it's just a way to uplift people and kind of get them in touch with something spiritual, especially when they're surrounded by oppressive forces, you know? So I don't think black magic has to be a nasty, bad, scary thing, you know? That's why I was looking forward to talking to you about it, because a lot of people don't want to touch it because it's associated with kind of sketchy stuff. But I don't think that necessarily has to be the case.
No,
But like, and to what you're saying though, you know, you have to bring love to it,
well,
whatever your practice is.
then you got to look at love like this right here now. The first thing a person got to do, in my opinion, to know love, you got to love yourself.
There you go.
See, I love everybody to a certain extent. Some people you can't love. They won't let you. So that's why you had to leave them alone.
Mm-hmm.
The black magic and stuff like that right there, people make evil on everything. I don't know what's wrong, folks.
Well, the church can be evil. You know, Christianity can be evil. It can be used for evil. You know?
Already evil. Who do you think it was that wanted the king to free Barabbas and crucify Christ? What's been the good people?
No.
The bad people weren't saying all that much. It were the good folks.
Well, and you talked about like playing blues and then playing gospel and how it's kind of like a different worlds, but you play in the shot houses and it's lots of drinking and sex and all that stuff and drugs, and then you go to the church, but there's also all these contradictions about things, you know.
Yeah. Now you're supposed to hear what the devil is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you walk in the shot house, you know what to expect.
Right.
You don't know what to expect in the church. You suspect people in there. You go in the shot house, if they ever get drunk and everybody's singing the same song, everybody singing a different song, and everybody doing this, and they don't know where you're playing or not. As they get drunk, then if we give you a little pile of money, man, you eating that guitar up. They don't know what you're playing, but you go to church now. Everybody got a different opinion of what you're supposed to do. And not all church ain't like that.
No, yeah.
Most of the time it's a church with very few people there where you can you really feel a little bit better at. The church where the crowd's at, there's a lot going on, man. I don't know about in your churches and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in the churches of Mississippi Episcopal Church. My dad was a bishop, and he didn't talk about Jesus and sin and shame and all that, or hell. He talked about social justice and civil rights and environmentalism, stuff I could kind of get behind.
Right.
And I'm not trying to put Orthodox religion down. I'm just saying both the occult and the kind of traditional religious worlds can be both good and evil,
Yeah, they can, but now from what you said about your dad, the bishop,
mm-hmm.
you could get some that would do you some good from his sermon. But
For
you
sure.
can't get nothing that do you no good from a sermon where they saying one thing about what they used to do, and I held up my hand and I done this and I anointed my head with all the stuff. You said to yourself, wonder what did the oil do? Wonder how come he doing this and that? I mean, you start asking a lot of questions to yourself and about him.
Yeah.
But if you come clean like you say he did, you can get something out of it.
Yeah. He was all meat and potatoes. Yeah. Didn't want to,
He was a powerful man, an Episcopal bishop.
Yeah.
That's like how you go in that church.
He's a good guy.
So religion ain't no John Brown or joke to you.
Mm-mm.
And it wouldn't a man be wasting his time trying to fool you, because I'm quite sure he taught you pretty good, whether you listened or did what he said or two different things. Only teaching I got was from them cabins on the chain gang and them bull whips across a 55-gallon barrel in the reform school.
That's rough.
It was my own fault. I don't fault nobody but myself. Cause you know, I don't care what you do, you know right from wrong. A lot of people are in pity party. Well, my daddy won't that. Big deal. Forget about him. He's gonna live.
Mm-hmm.
My mama, she big deal. She gave you away, but ain't you better off? You still living. That's the way I look at it. I could be wrong, but it ain't nothing wrong with being wrong. The only thing wrong about that is somebody don't tell you you're wrong.
Yeah.
And you say you play guitar too?
I do play guitar, yeah.
Yeah, the two people that impressed me playing guitar, and it ain't no B.B. King and Chuck Berry, Muddy Waters. It was Doc Watson and Jose Feliciano.
Yeah.
My sister used to listen to that. I played country music for her. She thought she was going to be Rosa Pride. I told her, I said, Charlie Pride ain't no country musician. You talk about everybody. I said, listen to the way he sang. I said, if he didn't have that heavy studio mix, nobody wouldn't even buy the record. You never known Charlie Pride to go around nowhere where they were playing country music, drawing a crowd. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
huh? He didn't have his mix.
Yeah, I grew up listening to, well, I didn't grow up listening to, but I some of my favorite guitar playing is the Mississippi, like Hill Country Blues,
Yeah.
like Junior Kimbrough, John Lee Hooker, and that kind of world. I like the kind of repetitive, more trance-oriented kind of blues style. Helped me get into that dream state a little bit.
Right. I ran into John Lee Hooker when him and Bonnie Ray were coming back from Texas up there in Chicago, South Side Chicago. And I had never seen, all the black dudes in there, blues men doing this and doing that. And place I think was Buddy Guy's place. I went up there with Cecil Harris. And everybody was playing this and playing that. So somebody in the crowd said, can anybody up there play a song called Stoop Down? Everybody looking at each other. Bonnie Ray pulled a medicine ball out in her pocket. And Stratocaster is one of the snitch in this guitar they ever been. It'll tell them. You can be playing a Strat and you get out there in front of the people and kind of open it up a little bit, doing your thing and everything, and you mess up, the other Strat will say, hey, yo, he missed me over here. But she pulled it out and she played the song like it's supposed to be played. Said she had been, her and John Lee Hooker had been traveling together. He was getting in kind of bad shape then.
Yeah.
So I had never ever seen that woman and with hair as red as her hair was. And I didn't know nothing about all that back then.
Mm-hmm.
But
Well, as far as like playing guitar, do you kind of, you talk about the premeditation state with making a guitar. Does any of that come into play when you're playing it?
yeah, it used to, but I tried to do the stuff now, but you see how that arthritis and gout have swollen my fingers and
Yeah.
and misformed that one and got that big knot there and I can't handle it like I used to. I used to could hold my own, but yeah, my music was different than that music because I don't know what was wrong with it.
With what?
With the way I played. When the people would try to embellish what they were doing between chords and stuff, I didn't do that.
Yeah.
I could change over, and then what they were doing, their little solo between there, I would change to my chord and then do the solo. The little ping, pang, pap, pop.
Mm-hmm. And you played gospel for a little while. How long were you doing that?
I played gospel a long time. I played with
I know your sisters played.
Mighty All Stars. I played with. I can't name all the folks who would get it. Come on over here and play for us and stuff, but it wasn't my thing.
Yeah. Why is that?
I have no idea. They claim it sounded good and everything, but
Just weren't feeling it?
I wasn't feeling it.
Yeah.
You play gospel?
Not really. I've been playing hymns some lately. But mainly I just kind of work from a free place, free flowing.
Right. You play what's comfortable to you and sound good.
Yeah.
You don't play for gratification from the audience.
No. I don't perform. I just play for.
Hey, you ever tried? I saw a guy do this right here. Nodded saw it, and sitting there telling a lie, thinking about one thing, saying another. I heard about a guy who used to play slide or gospel music on a banjo. You ever heard tell that?
Slide on a banjo? No, I don't think so.
Yeah, he was from Greene County. He played slide. They say James, those blues guys at one time. He can't play nothing but gospel music. He said
Yeah.
he sounded pretty good. I never heard tell anybody playing slide on a banjo. I've been asking people. I ain't never heard tell nobody said nobody did it.
Yeah, I don't
They
know
said
that.
he played. And the thing about the banjo, I'm thinking now, the banjo that they could have afford back then, you know, my people could have afford banjo. It couldn't have been nothing but a 4 string.
No.
And
Yeah. Speaking of Greene County, I forgot to ask earlier, like up in Bertie County, which is like just north of you, right?
Bertie County.
Bertie County, there was like a kind of a strong conjure doctor tradition there. Where did you come in? I mean, you talked about meeting Yvonne Frost as they passed through, but
Right.
was there any kind of local
Well,
conjure or anything?
Dale Zora Pettiford was out of Hyde County, down
Okay.
by Bay of Haven. Harry Peterson was out of Hyde County, down by Bay of Haven. George, he was from Georgetown, South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Buzz area was in the southern state where I don't think a whole lot of people had never seen him. They just said they had.
Yeah. Yeah, because in Bertie there was like Joe Sorrell and Lorenza Smallwood. Do you know those names at all?
No, I never heard that. The only Smallwoods I ever heard was the Smallwood Singers. I didn't even know where they were from.
Yeah. Yeah, just curious.
Yeah.
And yeah, with the kind of going back to the guitar, like when you talk about the electricity of the guitar, the electric guitar, you tend to kind of emphasize some magical aspects of that. And when you talk about like the lodestone, which is also kind of used in lots in the voodoo tradition,
Right.
was that something you were thinking of, or something that drew you to you doing the electric instead of the acoustic?
Well, the thing about the lodestone was, see, I knew that the pickups had a magnet in it. So when I acquired a lodestone as a lucky piece to keep in my pocket, I noticed you lay aside little pins and stuff and would pick it up. And I knew it was a rock. That's what puzzled me.
Mm-hmm.
Then I looked at the pickup with the little wires and stuff around it and tried wrapping it. That didn't work. Then by and by, here come a Danny Electro with the lipstick cube, and that's when you got to go in there and look. And all Dan Armstrong did was ball the wire up with each end in it so it had positive and negative, ball it up and slip the magnet in there and then ball it back up and crammed it in the tube. So I took the wire, balled it up, and put the lodestone in there and it worked. But see, it was so small, it couldn't work on all the strings. And I tell you, another one got some kind of little power in it because you can bang it a little bit and you can have it hooked to an ohm meter. And after putting the wire around it, is a crystal. And you take and bop it like that right there, and you can see a little motion on the needle and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it won't hold it like the lodestone. The lodestone, it'll stay perpetual, but that one won't do it.
Yeah.
So I thought I was going to make a crystal pickup and couldn't find out. Martin had been making them for years. So I left that alone. Paid all that money for that amethyst crystal. It's about like that right there.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to make one, but they had been making. I've been had that crystal a long, long, long time.
But you kind of had the vision to do that.
Yeah, but this man had already perfected.
Mm-hmm.
And the lodestone of a man, but the thing about it is you ain't gonna find that piece big enough to make now that pickup, cause a piece would had to be about that long.
Yeah.
And it would had to be kind of, straight up. But you
Mhm.
know how stones is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that lodestone, they never figured it out. Of how you got it magnetic stuff in there and never figured out the crystal. You can take a crystal with a little minute charge and like you put it in a watch, just a little bitty crystal. You can think about how long that watch will work.
Yeah. Where did you learn how to work the electrical circuits and stuff?
Messing around with old pickups and stuff and old guitars and old radios and different things. And
Yeah.
you keep putting a little something here and embellishing it there, putting a little something here and then adding on to it and find out that some additions worked and some didn't.
Mhm.
Like the best wiring system for a guitar in the electronic compartment is not the 4-way that Gibson used, not the 3-way that Fender used. Use the Crosby schematics, where it was on the old model Crosby radio, the one that came after the battery. You use that one, and man, you got some tonal quality. You just won't know what you got. I can't explain how it worked, because most of the time you had to wire them so that the dog leg had to be grounded out here and there.
Yeah.
But not on the Crosby. They had
Well,
a magnificent system.
I really appreciated the way you talked about, it's like much respect to Gibson and all the kind of classic guitar makers, but you were kind of searching for your own sound. And
Man, you got see, people think I'm trying to criticize no folks, but I wanted to do my thing.
yeah,
I was looking for that sound way happened to me over yonder.
totally.
That's what I was looking for.
Yeah. I mean, when I was a teenager, I kind of had, I guess, a similar experience where, because I like started ripping the frets off my guitar, I rewired it, I took the volume knob off and put a gold doorknob on it. I was trying to get something, get it to go somewhere else besides what was kind of the norm, and trying to kind of imagine a new sound. And so whenever I hear you talking about that, I'm just, it resonates pretty deeply with me, and I really respect that. And you also kind of did it at lots of different ways. You talked about, reversing the polarity of electronics and shifting the resonant chambers in different positions and that kind of thing. Like,
You got
you
it.
really got creative with the sound,
And guess what?
Hmm.
Now to show you that in the long run the truth will come out. I have a wooden amplifier. I bought it from a guy. He didn't know what it was. You know what it is when they had the little thing you wind up the record player and put the little horn up there. And the
Yeah.
horn put the sound down in the box. All right, this box right there got sound chambers in it. That's how it amplifies the sound from the phonograph, and you can open some doors, change the position of the, you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I was going to ask, I mean, did you ever kind of work or creatively with building amplifiers?
I have built some amplifiers, but there ain't but two things you can do on an amplifier besides distortion and chorus and all like that right there. There ain't but really three important things on an amplifier. That's volume, bass, and treble.
Mm-hmm.
That's all important. So that wasn't too exciting. Now, what's exciting with me is how this man have took this wooden box. They had one thing they call it a gramophone.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he made wings in there inside the box, and real thin wood. I got to look at it and take it down and see what it does and all like that right there. It's back there. I think it was made back in the way back yonder. But anyway, can you imagine? I have a system for tonal chambers and guitar, but not that delicate. But I have you put a chamber here and you get your stethoscope and tap tune.
Mm-hmm.
When you're comfortable with that sound and know that you got a sound there that's equal to a note, you go to the other place over here Yeah, I reversed the chambers. I used the treble side for the bass side and bass for the treble. And you tap over him, make it a little bit heavier. That causes it not to be too aggressive when it's amplified. And hardwood is the best. The best wood to make an instrument I like that right there is the piano soundboard.
That's
That
Steinway.
soundboard has been, man, it has been abused. It's got to be straight. All the fibers in it has got to be beat to death until they resonate better than anything else.
Yeah.
I got one back there I'm putting together now. Came out of Steinway, the best wood ever been. Every bit of a quarter sawn and glued together. You can't see the glue on.
No.
But they were so John Brown perfect with it till all the John Brown grains is about the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, going back to the guitars, or kind of that specific guitars, there's a couple of names I just was curious about. One you have this is an early one called Zandor.
Yeah,
You know what I'm talking about?
yeah. That one's supposed to had the reason Zandor came to me because I don't know why it was that I thought there was a planet named that, but so that's why it was like that because it had a little
Okay. Yeah, it's
weird, had a little weird timbre to the when you strike the strings and everything, which
like a sci-fi kind of sound.
now you're talking.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because there's a voodoo priestess named Azili Zandor. So I was wondering if you might be referencing that, but
No, this year came to me when I was sitting there messing with it.
interesting. Yeah. And then there's Kanjo.
Yeah, Canjo was it was supposed to have been a banjo, but it couldn't be a banjo because it didn't have the banjo sound. Banjo got a banjo sound like bang, like that right there.
Mm-hmm.
So this one got the sound of count like that, you know. The sound would resonate kind of a K-ish.
Yeah.
And a banjo got the B-ish sound. If you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, yeah. And that particular instrument too has pretty stunning kind of illustration on the skin there. You got like a skull with a snake eating another snake, and then you got some symbols with it almost looks like alchemical or like a laboratory. What's going on in some of those images?
That's supposed to have been let's see now, the snake eating the snake. I don't forgot what that represents. But I was mad when I was drawing that stuff. And,
Yeah.
if
What were
I
you mad
see it,
about?
it come right back to me. But you know, I did that in anger. When you do something in anger, it's easy to forget it.
Yeah.
But
You remember what you were mad about?
no.
Okay.
So a whole lot of time you be sitting there and working on stuff, and I don't know why you get angry.
Yeah. There's a lot to get mad about.
Yeah. I was reading a Campbell and Kelly book here where they have another description. I got to go back and read some more because I wrote it in Old English, you know. And I got to see what their description is of a lot of serpents. They put a lot of serpents on their plates and different things. And I can understand some of it, but I might have to get somebody to know how to read Old English better than I do.
Yeah. And another thing, like aside from the snakes, one of the more common images in your guitars are these horns. And
yeah, them there, everybody's supposed to know what they are. Have you ever seen a dog? A dog that hunts at night got dew claws.
got what?
Dew claws.
Dew claw. Okay.
Besides the claws on his feet, he got some claws up down the legs. You ever seen them?
Mm-hmm.
All right, a mule, some type of animals beside them got the dew claws. Just to keep them, I reckon, from straying down the path or hear what it is, but it kind of intrigued me about those dew claws. So I put them up there so that my instrument stuff won't travel in darkness and stuff and get taken over by evil spirits.
Interesting. Yeah, that's like was it the Celtic hollow body?
Right?
That's it's like a dew claw tree.
But see, I had been doing dew claw, but a man came to my house and This is the most unusual wood. You need to take a microscope and look at it. You never seen
That's my favorite.
You have
Man. That's
never
a beautiful piece.
you never seen wood with a grain like that before. If a man came to my house, he said, "Tell me you make instruments." I said, "Yeah." He brought 2 pieces of wood. The other one had been cut in a slab. He showed me a little thing, configuration, how he wanted, and everything was pretty crude. So I went by that and did it, and I started working with that wood. So I go to a man, a real old man that built clocks and stuff. I said, "What kind of wood is that right there?" He got a thing, he looked at it, he said, "I really don't know." He said, "Let me see that other piece." He got there, he looked at it and everything. He said, "I don't know what this is. So where you get it from?" I said, "A man came to my house and wanted an instrument built out." And then I showed it in the paper. I said, "Mighty strange that." He said, "Was he a Celtic?" I said, "I had never heard told that before." And we got into that and all and everything, and I put the instrument together and I never see the man no more. Never seen him since. And then still nobody don't know what kind of wood it is. Get a microscope and look at it real close.
Yeah.
Not a microscope. What's the name of them thing where you put on one eyeball and look at jewelry?
Oh, magnifier, yeah.
Sure did. I never found out what kind of wood it was, because I took the bottom of it and burnt it. Keep scraping it. Burn it, scrape some more till I got it the thickness I wanted, and then I left it burning alone and used the tool to scrape it on that wood. But I never found out what kind of wood it was. That puzzled me a long time. It looked like a little bitty dots. It's not got a straight grain. It don't have a curved grain. It's just a little bitty dots.
That's beautiful. I mean, and a lot of people talking about the lynching tree work that you did, and one of the pieces. I mean, people have talked about that a lot, so I'm not going to dive too deep into that. But one of the pieces I haven't heard mentioned is the lynching of Alvin. Is that the name of the triangle? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Is that like a wind chime?
There's
like a little
tin
with some.
You talking the little man way hanging down there with the other stuff.
Yeah.
There were additions to the triangular thing that put it in there to make it interesting and stuff. The little man hanging in there and thing. I just saw something made me do that. I don't know what it was. I don't know how I did it, but so seemed like I was possessed.
Well, do you know his last words, Alvin Moore, before he died?
No, because I told Tim. Hear what I told.
You don't want to know.
Now you're talking.
Yeah.
See, I got to live around here.
I hear you.
Some of them people, relatives, still around here. I had a problem with a woman out to the store out there. You happy about that tree, ain't you? I said, "No, because y'all the one hung the man."
Mm-hmm.
She went on about her business.
It's heavy stuff. I mean.
Yeah, it is. And see, I don't know how Tim did it. Because it wasn't a long conversation.
Mm-hmm.
He walked in my shop. He wanted to know what I was going to do with the wood. I told him, I said, "Tim, I said, I might make some guitar out of somewhere." He said, "Where you get it from?" I said, "I bought it over yonder from," I won't call the man's name. And I said, "He told me a guy had been hung on that tree." He went on about his business. So he gone to the party a while, come back. He said, "No, that guy where we were hung, lynched on the tree?" I said, "No, I have no idea." Then he got a little paper I come reading. I said, "Whoa, read that." I don't want to hear no more. He even paddled around with some of the folks way he did the stuff.
Well, that triangle piece with Alvin Moore, that one's so powerful to me because I looked at it and I saw a wind chime and I saw like this shape for wind to pass through. I was thinking of spirits, and his last words were talking about his spirit living on. So I see a piece like that and I see his spirit living on and could hear it in my imagination. but I just think it's beautiful. And I think that's part of what your work offers is a kind of magic, and not a bad magic, not an evil magic, but transforming kind of the darkness into a light. And, you know, you change how people witness the world, you know, not to be too dramatic, but, you know, it's beautiful. And I'm really grateful to talk to you, and just so inspired by everything you've done.
Now, the one thing you didn't mention, this is the worst thing ever happened to me by the tree ever been. I had chunked a piece of the wood aside. Here come Tim again. He said, what you gonna do with that piece right there? I said, I don't think nothing that can make that none of that, Tim. He goes on about his business, taking pictures. And I got my hammer. I said, all of a sudden, then it bothered me. I said, that knot on that piece of wood. I said, I'm gonna knock the hell out of that knot. Whoop! A piece fell out.
Oh, is this the shoot?
Yeah, I looked around. Tim, he still out there taking pictures. I knocked the other piece out. When I set it on top of there, it was in the shape of a shoe. All I did was glue the top of a piece on there, and got all the imperfection off it and everything, and that's it. Then he come back again. You know how come that? I said, Tim. He said, well, said, I tell you this right here. Said, the man fixed shoes. Who would ever know that? Never even heard tell of the man. 1933, I wasn't even born.
Mm-hmm.
Then some strange stuff happened to that wood. When he got that wood away from there, it was a relief. Cause I was out there to be working late at night, and man, you just don't know. You need to take one of them instruments and carry it in a dark room and sit there and mess with it. You'll find out what I'm talking about.
Get the spook. Yeah.
Now, it's a strange feeling.
Yeah.
Like when you bump your elbow, you know that feeling when it come up in?
Mm-hmm. It's powerful. Well,
It'd be more powerful than that if you can ever get one of those instruments where that wood, where made out of that wood, and communicate with. You look back and you say, that old dude sure told the truth. Something strange.
They communicate with me.
Being a musician like you hear some sound that I ain't saying it's going to do nothing extraordinary, but there'd be a difference there that you can tell the average man over there won't be able to tell.
Yeah.
So he listen at it like you do.
Well, have you had any issues since the exhibition and the book came out? You know, you were kind of concerned. You've been kind of not wanting to advertise too much or gloat. You know, I understand that. But have you had any issues with people around kind of your hometown?
None that I couldn't take care of in a way that nobody felt offended.
Yeah. Okay.
See, if you just think a wee bit before you speak and listen at what they're saying, they really trying to communicate in a harsh way. And you can make them feel bad about it if you say the right thing, if you think about it.
Well, good. I hope it turns people on to your work, and maybe opens, if they had a kind of a tightly closed heart, I hope it opens a little bit, you know?
I do too. I really do. I might not know how to explain it like Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson, but I would love to have that too.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well, I don't want to keep you. Is there anything else you might have to say on kind of your spiritual philosophy or your spiritual background that we didn't touch on?
Well, on the thing, like I said, if you could get one of the instruments, you understand what I'm talking about as you do it. It may not work the first time. It may take 2 times because your move got to be right. And what it tell you will be different than what it told me.
Yeah.
You just ain't gonna believe what it'll do. You just are not gonna believe it. I wouldn't believe that he told me because I would go right on and I said, now I'm gonna see if this guy here right about that instrument. Or there's something strange about it.
Yeah. Do you have as far as the sounds go, do you have a favorite guitar of the ones you made?
Well, I did have, but I let my brother-in-law have it, and
Uh-oh.
he done a whole lot of recording. They won all kind of
He's
awards.
a gospel musician?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he don't know what he did with it. See, he know what he did with it, but he don't want to say it.
Right.
But that's the one he done all the recording with the albums and stuff, with the homemade guitar. Made it on the chair bottom. You know the part where you sit on in the chair?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he went. He been in most of the gospel concerts in the States. He was with that guitar. Sounded red decent.
Is there a recording that
Oh, they had several albums out.
is there one that kind of highlights the sound of the guitar?
Well, he leads off the song with the guitar, like "We'll Work" and "Standing in the Need of Prayer" and "Land of a Thousand Tongues" or something other. That's most of the time when he abused the guitar a little bit at the beginning of the songs.
Yeah. Yeah, because well, it's funny because part of me wants to hear all the guitars. I want to hear them played, or I'd love to play it. But the rest of me kind of also likes just imagining the sound. Like you talk about this sound that you've been chasing and that you haven't quite gotten to, and when you do that, you kind of force us to imagine it with you.
Yeah.
And I think that's a pretty beautiful thing. So to see the guitars up in the exhibition, that gets the imagination listening.
Well, Tim chose one of those instruments and brought it back down here. And man, it's the most awesome sounding one. It's just hard to explain. You had to mess with them to see, cause each person seeks a different sound.
Yeah.
A lot of people like the treble, aggressive sound. Some people like the mid-range sound. Some people like the muddy sound. I like the open, clear sound with nothing, no effects and nothing.
Mm-hmm. Clean and clear.
Plain and clear. That was a remarkable instrument. It was made out of the Steinway piano thing.
Which one was that?
The one where he brought down here that sounded so good.
Yeah.
And I got what the name of the piano. I'm finna go upside it head and get the soundboard on it, but it won't be like that Steinway. They even had ivory keys on it. My boy told me that it was against the law to have the ivory, so I took and get it away.
Oh, really? Against the law to have what?
Ivory.
Ivory. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Over the animals. Yeah.
He said you had to have a permit or something. A permit.
Mhm.
Certificate or something.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad Music Maker Relief Foundation found you. I'm glad Tim found you, and I've discovered a lot of incredible artists through that foundation, and I'm glad they put me in touch with you for this talk that we're having. It's just an incredible thing, and I hope everybody comes and sees the exhibition. It's really special, really special.
Yeah, I learned a whole heap from the people that the interview stuff. The folks way be interviewing you if you listen at them and pack away what they said. And then when you come in a situation to where you can use that, all you had to do is embellish it a little bit, and there you go.
Well, we've learned a lot from you, that's for sure.
I learned a heap from you right then. You don't know it though. When I bring it back to you, you'll say, he showed thee.
Well, I hope are you going to be at Sika on the July 10th by chance?
July the 10th. When is July the 10th?
I forget what day that is.
Next weekend.
Next weekend. I ain't for sure, but if I be in my smut, I'll probably go with that.
Well, I'm lucky because they, they're doing like this little mini exhibition called Community Chords, where they have local artists who are inspired by you present some works that are inspired by your work. And the guitar that I did is going to be in that exhibition next to your exhibition.
I
So
sure would love to see that.
Yeah, I'm super, super honored to be anywhere near your work, and I would love for you to see it for sure.
I sure need to see it. Is it acoustic or electric?
It's acoustic, but no strings. The strings are made of caterpillars.
Get out of here. Are you serious?
I'm serious. You'll see what I mean. You'll see what I mean.
That is, as Tim and them said, that is cool. A caterpillar string guitar. I can't wait to gander at that. Sure can. I need to see that.
Yeah.
Instead of gonna be some other folks there, I need to see this here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah.
That thing like to win you some awards. I had never jumped that in my mind and wallowed it around caterpillar strings. Did you ever pluck the strings, or you just dried them up and put them up there?
They're just kind of sitting up at the headstock where the tuning pegs are. And I kind of created this like symbolic landscape on the guitar. So where the caterpillars crawl down the neck through the frets, they got to pass a rattlesnake, and then they turn into a butterfly at the end.
That is KOW, cool. The folks have spelled it wrong, but you know what the wise man said? Said if he spelled it cool and that's his way of spelling it for himself, said then that spells cool.
Then it works.
I'm gonna show that he hadn't said nothing about that. July the 10th.
Oh yeah. Well, it's going to be going on through September 5th or so. So it'll be up there for a while, but they're doing like an opening reception, I think, on the 10th.
That ain't can double day. I tell you one thing, there could be a whole lot of unusual instruments there.
There could be.
There could be a lot of them. One guy brought a muffler, resonator up here, made a slide guitar, and then I told him, I said, I ain't the one.
Oh wow.
I said, I ain't the one you need to impress. He said, well, who do I impress? I said, you got to get in touch with Tina. I said, I'm sitting here right now with some smoking backer and can't even buy no cigar. He said, what do you mean with that? I said, you'll figure it out. He didn't even know what I was talking about. Oh, and Joe's old turkey.
Uh-huh. Well, what do you got going on these days?
Well, I'm working on a demon thing back there, and
What do you mean?
he laying right back yonder behind this curtain here, and yeah, we'll let him look at it here so I can drool. Yeah, I'm trying to perfect a slide guitar with some unusual features.
All right.
A steel guitar, because I'm thinking about I don't know what I'm gonna put on. I ain't figured it out yet.
Yeah. Sometimes it's better not to know what you're doing.
Now you're talking.
Well, I'm glad you're still making guitar.
He laying right on that table, I think. The demon head.
You said that you're making it out of steel?
No, I was gonna use the parts that the strings and pickup stuff hooked to that steel. I ain't made up my mind what I'm gonna do it yet.
Yeah.
Can't find it. I don't know what I done with it then.
Demon walked away.
Probably did. I have no idea where I put it. Let me step right back there and see.
Okay.
Yeah. Grunt, pants, grown. I don't know where I put that. Yeah, he left I should have literally had. Dang, and they having another gig up there. Damn, yeah, here this Damon is. I'm getting that scoundrel straight.
Oh, wow.
Pick it up just a little bit.
Yeah.
Messed up, ain't it?
Oh, man. That's beautiful.
And then when he was describing it to me, he said, you know, no offense, but it's got a red neck. And I'm going, what
You
Yeah,
got a sense of humor too, don't you?
yeah, that mouth took me a week to do the mouth. Now I got one eye. One of his eyes is messed up just like one of mine.
You got some triangles up top?
What up here? Oh yeah, I was gonna do some stuff off in the Solomon Seal.
Oh, wow.
I was gonna do some of the hieroglyphs in the Solomon Seals up there, but I got to redo it.
It's okay.
What does the Solomon seal mean to you when you put it on the guitar like that?
Well, the thing about it is, I took and got the good kind out there and left the bad kind alone. You know, the Solomon Seal came out of the 8th and 9th and the 10th book of Moses, the one that was left out in the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
They even have recipe in there for the holy anointing oil and a lot of different things. But they say that the man that did the 8th, 9th, and 10th book of Moses made it up. Then there's another type of religion that I ain't gonna get into that because I'll be going crazy. Yeah, I thought about taking and putting an iron rod all the way through here. That was to keep the sound and the vibration in my little piece of iron here, and put some steel strings up there and play it lap steel style.
Mm-hmm.
If I got the neck like I wanted and stuff, well, which I took the neck off in the classic guitar.
You got a name for it yet?
Now, I should not have said to him, because this right here is bothering me. I don't supposed to be laughing. I'm supposed to be looking mean. Still named him Tight Eye.
Tie-dye.
Tight Eye. And do you see his name tight by the eye? Tight Eye.
I like
It's
it.
not gonna sound a lot better than folks think it is, because I'm gonna do something to the pickup that I ain't never done to a pickup before.
Are there any resonant chambers in there?
I'm gonna put what in here. I ain't hollowed it out yet.
Okay.
You got to do all the facial work, so I won't cut back through it.
Mm-hmm.
I got to take my measurements in different areas, the thinnest areas, so that when I'm hollowing it out back here, I won't cut through.
And what are you doing different with the pickup that you said?
I'm gonna try magnetizing some. I don't think titanium can be done like that, but I would love to try some titanium and see can it be magnetized. Maybe I don't know.
What attracts you to the titanium?
Well, titanium, is an indestructible metal. Titanium and it's pretty good and tough metal. Titanium, I can't think of the name of that other one. Stainless steel, it don't impress me too much. Titanium is light and strong. And titanium on the real circumstance are burning just like wood.
Mm-hmm.
I already done acquired a piece, but I cut some of it out and made a ring out of it, and it didn't turn out too well. So I'm gonna try it. What am I do between the like the pickup be sitting where the slugs at? I'm gonna ease the pickup down, ease the magnet down, so I can get the titanium between the magnet and the slug. If it don't work, I ain't lost nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you play a lap steel?
I've never played a lap steel. I love lap steel guitar though, but no, I've never played.
I sent Tim one with man, it looked terrible. I forgot what was on it. Yeah, I got in that mood and everything, so demon face kept right on coming to making me do this into this wound. I did have it so I could grab it in the collar, but I took and cut that part off because I got tired of doing that. Yeah, I got to holler with that now. That's where the problem come in at.
Yeah. Is it hard to keep stuff from breaking once you start working that way?
If you maintain your measurements, you'll do pretty good.
Yeah.
But you had to keep right on, take a measuring tool, kind of, that you can use a clamp.
Yeah.
Keep your distance. You don't want to get too thin.
That was another question I had with numerology. Do you ever apply the numerology to the construction of the guitar, to the measurements of the guitar?
I have, but it didn't work out that good.
Gotcha.
Numerology is, I don't know. I don't think guitars were made to use numerology on call. There's so many do's and so many don'ts. I think I'm gonna like playing this guy here. I got to get me a slide. Ping pang, ping pong, ping pang, ping pong, ping pang, ping pong, ping pang, ping pong.
Well, that's really smart too, because that might be a way that you can play even with arthritis. You could still kind of work it a little bit.
Well, I had a demon head here that bothered me. Every time I looked down the corner of my eye, I couldn't see real good. Then I could see it. So I fooled him to get it and carry it away from him. And no, I didn't. I mailed it to him. I had to get it away from around me for it was doing something to me psychologically.
Yeah.
But this
You got to exercise the demon in the wood.
But there's something about it that bothered me real bad.
How's that?
I don't know what it was. It could be sitting right over in the corner. I wouldn't be planning on looking at it, and I would keep right on looking over there. I moved on this corner here, and I'd keep right on looking over there, looking at it. For what reason, I don't know.
Just calling you.
So I took and put it in the box and sent it to Tim. But this joker ain't gonna sound pretty good and decent.
It's looking pretty good.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to. Now I don't know what that titanium don't know what it's gonna do. Probably nothing. Cause it ain't got no magnetic property,
Mm-hmm.
Might not do nothing.
Got to experiment.
Yeah, I'm gonna try it. I'm quite sure somebody else done tried it, but maybe it'll work for me.
What's that in the top left corner?
Wait about it.
You got like a little
Oh, you talking here?
to the left of the triangles, yeah.
There is horns.
Okay.
Them are the dew claw. Yeah.
I'm glad you told me about the dew claw because I didn't realize that's what was going on, and
Yeah, all dogs that hunt at night, coon dogs, and well, depending on where they bred at and who they bred with, they got them dew claws. They be way up above their claw.
Yeah.
And some chickens, I think fighting roosters got them too. They call them on the chicken. They call them spurs. You seen the spurs on the chicken leg? Yeah, this rascal here gonna do some things. I just got a feeling he is. And then tell you the truth, his eyes are open too wide. Ray, he been drinking?
Drinking or ain't slept much or been up all night?
There's something wrong with him, man.
Been at the shot house all night?
That's exactly what he been doing. A little bit on the ugly side, too. I thought about going and getting me a skull and making a skull tarp, but I said, no, I better not do that. Cause them skulls ain't for real. They what the name of that stuff they make? Them bones and body parts and They tell me they make some parts of the car in them now.
Huh.
I
don't
can't think of the name of it. They grind it up and put some resin in it. And looks like a skull and feel like it, but they ain't what they is.
Yeah.
I forgot what the name of the stuff is.
Yeah, I felt a little weird working with that rattlesnake head that I put on my guitar.
You got a pure natural rattlesnake head up there?
It's a real rattlesnake head. I didn't kill it, but I bought it. But it's a real rattlesnake.
Yeah, they got them dried out,
Yeah.
you know. Dang. Your teeth still in his mouth.
Teeth are still in his mouth. I glued a little pearl inside his mouth, so he's holding a pearl in his mouth.
Oh, you didn't let him keep his fangs.
He's got his fangs are there.
Yeah. I imagine that. I can't wait to get up there.
Yeah.
I think me and Mr. Smith will fly this time though, because we started riding. Like to maybe take the train. Do a train go through that?
I don't even know.
I don't know neither. Hey,
I don't even have a car. I got to find a ride.
You gonna drive down there?
What's that?
You gonna drive out there?
I don't have a car, but I'm looking for a ride right now. Yeah.
Oh, you ain't got no car. Sure can't thumb no more, because folks ain't gonna stop and pick you up.
And you're in Fountain, is that right?
Yeah, down here in Fountain. If you cough when you get down here, if you cough, you'll be way through that. Found a small, nice people up here. Man, ain't seen nothing wrong with folks. The only person I found something wrong with was me.
You can't escape that one.
Well,
how long you been in Fountain?
About 8, maybe 9 years.
Okay.
I retired before I came over here from restoring old cars. You know, I specialized in the old Italian cars and old anything.
Yeah.
Cause you know the people that if they couldn't find the engine and transmission and stuff, you just get here what will fit in there and put it in there. But now the real folks, you had to even have the same screw way come in.
Mm-hmm.
I went to school for it and got certified.
For doing like auto mechanic work?
No, classic car restoration.
Okay. Oh wow. Okay.
I built from the ground up, not the motor, transmission, wheels and stuff, but I'm talking about the configuration of a T-bucket. And folks went crazy over it, but I didn't want to be in there, no.
Yeah.
I had to kiss a whole lot of ass to get the John Brown bending of the metal done.
Do what you got to do, you know.
Yeah, folks just don't want to do nothing for you. You know, if you ain't doing a whole lot of something, them companies do not want to mess with you.
Yeah.
They had to set their machines up and stuff, and they actually get mad. So when I finally got to do with that one, I said, no more. Because see, it's got to be bent just right. It's got to be, you got to go and measure, get all your measurements wrote down and everything, and get everything like it's supposed to be. And then you got to get the metal bent. It's got to have certain places up there you put wood, where you put this and you put that. And it's hell building. But I finally got through with it. Rolled it off in the line. They swore I didn't build it. But see, all that bent metal weight, you know where tables around there and everything, you know what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, machines done that. The man to the Roberts, you know what the name of it is. They build stuff out of metal. Yeah, the T-bucket's still running, but a 427 Chevrolet engine in it with pop-up this and 3/4 that. And I don't forgot all the name of the stuff. Anyway, it picked wheel right up on the ground too.
Yeah.
A guy bought that thing down in Newbern.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was painted pearl. We painted pearl, and then I took and done a little bit of this and that on there. I forgot what they called it.
Pearl color. That's nice.
You put it on that way, when the sun hit it in different areas, it changed colors.
Wow.
My mind ain't quite good as it used to be. I can't think of all the names of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I got pretty damn good with an airbrush, but that didn't last long neither because folks got tired of customizing veins.
And have you ever done an acoustic guitar?
Yeah, but you can't give them away.
I'll take one.
First thing they said, you made this mess right here. Now, if you ain't got a Martin, a Gibson, Fender ain't real popular.
Yeah.
Martin, Gibson, and Survey acoustic guitar. People buy them and they want them and they comfortable with them. But you go making one. First thing they said, yeah, it sound all right. Yeah, it's all right. Somebody might give you this or that for they ain't studying. You
think
go in the closet and get an old Martin down there, neck warped, and I tore all the pieces. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm looking for. And I'll pay you the price for it.
you gotta, I discovered this farmer in the Ozarks in Arkansas. He started making guitars because he had kind of a connection with God who told him to start making guitars and give them away for free to children. And he started making all these acoustic guitars, like shaped like butterflies.
Right.
Pretty beautiful, kind of, special instruments. But it just reminded me of some of your work,
Yeah. Yeah, I made acoustic guitar. In fact, the B. Columbus family got one of them now, but nobody ain't studying.
Really?
You would go and spend all that time. You would go spend a fortune bending the sides on. And then it's so simple that to buy one of the irons where you roll it through there and let it set overnight and bend it on itself. But you paying $1,100 for something to bend the sides on the guitar and can't sell it for $5 or $10. That makes sense to you.
Yeah. more work and money than it might be worth, I guess.
Worth nothing, cause if when they say, look at that. Who made this right here? Oh, I put this together. Oh yeah, it sound all right. That's pretty good guitar. They'd be setting it right down. I ain't real fond of the acoustic sound of an instrument, no. I got several of them over there.
No.
I don't care nothing about the sound.
Just like a stronger tone.
Well, the sound just don't impress me. I don't care who made it. It just ain't. It just ain't nothing to me.
Yeah, I hear you.
Now, I've been going through a lot of Squire guitars, and one impressed me just a little bit was Jaguar. But then I found out all them buttons on the Jaguar and everything, all it leads right back to it is tone, treble, stuff like that right there. All it is a repeat of itself.
Yeah.
I used to run a rack. I had pedals and stuff like that right there. But after that incident I told you about, I just wasn't interested in no more. I had a lot of money tied up in that rack.
No. Did you said you experimented with pedals, with guitar pedals?
I played with pedals.
Yeah.
You sure did. But after that incident, it didn't impress me no more.
No.
For some reason. Not that I'm a great guitar. It's just that I like it. If I'm gonna spend my money for something, I want to be comfortable with what it do.
Yeah.
For then, man, I could take sustained, delay, and chorus and fool you. I could play it. Man, used to that guy tearing that guitar up. I take those sustained button there and put some chorus and delay on it and stuff, and man, just hold it all up with one finger like that right there, and you should look at that guy, man, play with one finger. All you gotta do is just keep rubbing across that and turn the amplifier. Have a volume pedal down there. That break the amplifier wide open when you're doing it. They should look at him, man. And you ain't
that's something that no one's really talked about though. When you're talking about like the tone of the guitar,
Right.
there's the sound of the guitar that you make, but there's also the feeling of the tone that's put in by the person playing the guitar, and that's a whole kind of other aspect of the tone, you know.
Yeah, this year when I was playing with Buddy Tender and Bill and Lane and all them rock musicians, take that string out there, give out stone on the little stuff and just mess with it, mess with it. But what they don't see your foot opening the volume wide open.
Mm-hmm. got the tricks.
Right. I got tired of that.
That's why you like the clean sound.
But after the incident, yeah, I played clean.
Mm-hmm.
Play with the name, dude. You had to be clean because they didn't want nothing but just the chords.
No.
They didn't want a whole lot of soloing in there. But since they all of them dead now, I don't know what them young guys doing. I could take them pills and food to every man like Jimi Hendrix did. Jimi Hendrix won't now. He wasn't a guitar player.
What do you like about Jose Feliciano?
Well, Jose Feliciano, when he makes his chords, if he do some soloing and something other and everything between his changes, it complements what he doing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not aggressive. It just blends right in and everything is complementary. Like Doc Watson, he plays his guitar. Looks simple, but it ain't simple.
Yeah.
But every string that he uses in his chord that he playing complements the other. They ain't never one of them aggressive. Ain't never one of them trying to outdo the other one in simple language and everything. Every string complements the other string and help it sound real good. Instead of one string being aggressive like this on the blues, just that ding, yakety, 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 ping, pop, ping, yakety, yakety. That don't impress me.
Yeah. I hear you. Did you ever meet Doc Watson?
No, I didn't know nothing about him till I was watching TV on PBS. And you got so you couldn't get with 2 channels down here.
Yeah.
And he was up there with a guy named what that guy name is? Well, cowboy hat. Anyway, he done a lot of blues and country music, folks.
Yeah. He's because he was like in Boone, right, North Carolina.
I don't know where he was at this time. You know, can't think of that guy's name. He done a whole lot of stuff about folk boy were forgotten, the musicians of and Doc was up there playing. And I didn't even know the man was blind till after the program. What that guy name? He was telling my Doc had been blind a long time playing, and the way he didn't miss a lick.
Yeah.
You couldn't even tell when he was to do, say like a bar chord. If he was playing a bar chord and he changed over, most folks you could tell. You couldn't even tell it. It's John Brown beat what it's saying.
Mm-hmm.
And what was that man's name? I can't think of the name. But anyway, that's where I see him at. And Jose Feliciano, my sister used to listen to him all the time. I ain't never know what he was playing.
Yeah.
But
Like when you were younger, you mean?
He was so confident. Yeah, he was young then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because my sister would have been somewhere probably in the 90s that she lived. But anyway, the music was comforting.
Yeah.
I have enjoyed aggressive music. We even tried to play some of it.
Yeah.
But it ain't fun.
Yeah, my teacher, growing up in Mississippi, he basically was like, we can do bluegrass or we can do Django Reinhardt, like gypsy jazz. And I chose Django Reinhardt. So that's what we focused on, which is more jazz kind of oriented, fast flying lines and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I was also into, rock and roll and R&B and all kinds of stuff. So
I met a lot of not the well-known rock musicians and stuff, and I met a lot of guys who were pretty good and they never make it.
how long did you kind of play in the circuit or travel playing concerts and stuff.
Here, what we would do. I don't know whether you never heard tell of this or not, but it would start off down here. When it turned warm, they would start having what they call the June German, the this and the that, and everybody could play tobacco warehouse opening, different things where everybody would go trying to get heard playing music.
Mm-hmm.
And end up somewhere you didn't have no business and stuff, and they end up somewhere they didn't have no business down this way and stuff, and some made it and some didn't. But them British folks, they did more with, as everybody wanted to claim the blues sound than anybody I know of.
Mm-hmm.
Certain ones on it.
Yeah.
I didn't know care much about the Beatles. I didn't like their style too much.
Yeah.
Somebody did because they got famous.
Yeah, they got pretty famous. How long did you play, like in clubs and stuff? Because you were touring for a little while, right?
Yeah, I played all the time up until when I had time, when I won't lock down, slam on up to about 8 or 9 years ago.
Oh, really? Okay.
That's one reason I couldn't stay married, because women didn't like for me to do that stuff. I hear about somebody, hey man, they are. Oh, James, man, having a cookout over yonder, got a blues boy from this and that, and first one thing and another and everything. Here I go. Not only me, anybody else could play a little bit, hoping somebody will hear them, you know.
What kind of stuff did you play?
And anything that enticed the people. I read the audience. If they wouldn't respond to one thing, I tried another, and if that didn't work, I quit.
Yeah.
Now, in a shot house, it's totally different. You go in there, everybody lined up, ready to hit. They start drinking. All right, had to get by drinking. You hear somebody can't be singing that one song over here. No, you got it made, then. You ain't got to play. Just every now and then strike the guitar. They told the people, hey, man, like, play my song. No, he got to play my, give him a drink so the man can play. Everybody talking at one time. Yeah, easy to play in the shop.
Yeah.
Harder.
Easy to please.
Yeah. You go to them cookouts and stuff, they ain't no dumb as that. When them guys go to work, they do the best they can. But a shot house, the only thing they gonna do is that steal the men and women, get drunk and tell lies and gamble in the back room. So every now and then somebody shoot somebody, cut somebody's throat, but you get used to that.
Yeah. Did you ever record yourself playing?
I've done. We have when I was at the All Star, we done some
The Mighty Mighty All Stars?
yeah.
We
done some I don't know what they call it. They call them now CDs, but these things were like big tapes, VHSs or something. Don't recommend them, but I ain't never know what they were.
Yeah.
And then they were really cute.
I'd love to hear you playing.
Well, as of now, I don't think my fingers are gonna never get right.
Yeah. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, that arthritis stuff is bad. It's bad. Gout, we call it, but doctor told me it's a form of arthritis, you know, collection of crystals in the joints and stuff, and all that inflammation, and it actually makes the joints look bad, like that one there, swollen, like it's swollen. It's hurting, but
No. Do you have a lot of pain?
whole lot of it.
Oh man, I'm sorry. Well, put it in that guitar.
Well, I wish I could, but
Give it to the demon.
well, he the one that creates the evil, folks claim. Everything's bad, they put it on the devil and his boys.
Mm-hmm.
They don't put it on their own weakness.
Right.
I ain't never fought the devil for that crime I committed, cause everything I done was plain. I did it good. Come on, how you plead? I said, oh, you already know.
Yeah. Did you have when you had that experience with the sound, with hearing this tone, did that kind of change your life in any like bigger sense? Or was it
No.
more?
It just changed my concept of music.
Yeah.
And it's bothersome to be like that. You sure will. 'Cause,
Yeah.
it ain't like that every time, but when you still respect the musicians and stuff with the group and all like that right there, you hear a little mistake here and there and everything. Stuff other people ain't paying no mind. It's
Mhm.
bothersome.
And you didn't have that clear ear, that perfect pitch before?
No, I before man, Johnny B. Good, Memphis, Tennessee, and Secret Agent, man, all that stuff, them pedals and stuff, man, I ring a guitar neck. But
Yeah.
at a den, thing changed, like I told you, the whole concept of music changed.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm glad you heard it.
Yeah, in a way, but in a way, it kind of messed me up a little bit, cause I was pretty well satisfied. I can go down there to the college and the boys be what they call in the underground places and smoke a little weed and do some lewds, and that wasn't any fun no more.
That'll make you hear different.
Well, it didn't bother me about my perception of what I was doing. It just made me think I was feeling good, which I won't, cause drugs don't do nothing but make you sleepy and stupid.
Yeah.
I ain't never seen nothing pump nobody up, but it didn't kill him some
Mm-hmm.
yellow jacks or black Jews or something, or he took a overdose. They said that's what killed him. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to keep you. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
It's been a whole great big pleasure talking to you, because it seems like you understand where I'm coming from.
I feel like I do. I feel you. I know that. Well, I hope we get to meet since we're so close. But either way,
I'm gonna try to get up there, because I think I need to see some other folks' works and stuff. Not that I want to be a copycat, but I need to drool over something somebody else doing.
Well, I'm curious to see what other people are doing for that.
Man, I be having a polecat and a perfume fight. Yo,
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing your exhibit again.
I'm
I'm so tempted to pluck the strings, but I'm trying to hold back, like, don't touch it, you know? Don't touch the art.
forward to seeing that axe where you took in Bill. I got to see that with the bugs creeping down there by the snakes and stuff, and then turning into butterfly. Man, that's a path to take. Started off bad and ended up good.
Yeah.
But folks eating butterfly, not butterfly. What's the name of them bugs boy come out every 17 years?
Oh, the cicadas?
Yeah, my boy said he chowed down on some somewhere.
Yeah, you can fry those up and eat them.
He said he could. I ain't gonna eat them. Not if I know it. You ain't.
Wow. Well, thanks for showing the new work that you're working on. That was,
Oh yeah, no problem. I'm about to tickled to show it to you.
yeah, I like that redneck.
Your mother took. Yeah, Miss Smith, she getting about ready to go now. She dolled up and everything, and young gal like her, man. Are you married?
No.
Miss Smith ain't married neither. The guy told me, the philosopher dude told me, said, me and him were chatting. I told him about Miss Smith. He said, did you know that she is a genius From what you said, I said, nah. He said that the Einstein folks and all them folks did not know they were genius. They thought they were just everyday people.
Well, they're too busy being.
Their knowledge for him didn't reach beyond our knowledge. That's what the philosopher dude told me.
No.
Yeah, that's what he said. But she is a wise person. She don't forget nothing. So don't tell her nothing and think that next week she gonna don't show her nothing and think she don't know what to do. Don't ask her nothing if you don't want to hear the truth.
Well,
Yeah. Remarkable person she is.
I'm glad she's helping you out.
Yeah, doesn't help me out a hole. I'd be dead if it weren't for her. I would be in the ground, man. I'm telling you that because she spent her time closing down her job and can take me to the doctors and stuff and sat there all day long, explain what the deal was when the doctor used confusing words and stuff. And man, you just don't know.
Yeah.
Even the doctor, he made a wee bit of a mistake. He didn't think she would listen. But when she corrected him, he was bobbing his head. Yeah. The nurse didn't even know what he was talking about. So I'm telling you, don't make no mistakes in front of me and Smith and things he don't know what the deal is now. I ain't never met no genius before. Would never know the effing order. This guy here now, his IQ is way, way overrated. When he tell you something, you can bank on it.
No. Who's that?
A friend of mine.
Mm-hmm.
And his project name is Fat Rat. But see, in the projects, you can't name yourself Joe or Sam or Bill or nothing like that. You got to have a street name.
Yeah, yeah.
You see, when he came out of prison and stuff, he didn't have nowhere else to go. So he took the name of Fat Rat. Well, let me not hold you up then. And mighty tickled I miss you, man.
Oh, me too, man.
And I'm going to be even more tickled when I come up there and me and you have a ball together.
Let's do it.
Do you drink cone whiskey?
I will with you.
All right. There's an old bootlegger down the road down there. I ain't gonna even tell on him because they'll be dropping a dime on him. He be talking on the field.